Am I the a-hole for wanting to return an expensive engagement ring? My boyfriend 48 male recently proposed to me 40 female. We'd been talking about getting engaged for a while, and he wanted me to pick the ring of my dreams. I told him from the beginning I didn't care what the ring cost, and that I would be happy with a simple band. He insisted he wanted to get me something truly incredible. In the end, he spent around $12,000 on the ring. I offered to pay half. He refused. I tried to get a smaller center diamond. He thought the larger looked better in the setting. Just to clarify, we both make good money, and while he's not crazy rich, spending $12,000 on the ring didn't bankrupt him either. Fast forward a few weeks, a few times now, he's reminded me of how much he spent on the ring. Like, what do you have to complain about? I just spent $12,000 on your ring, or I'm not the one wearing a $12,000 ring. I'm tired of it, and feel like the ring is a noose around my neck. This morning I told him I wanted him to return the ring. It's still within the 90-day return window, and I could wear a small band instead. I told him I didn't want the price of the ring constantly thrown in my face. He completely lost it, and told me I was being ungrateful and the ring was a symbol of his love. I think it's manipulative to mention the price of the ring after he's given it to me, when I never pushed for an expensive ring. Am I the a-hole here? What concerns me is how similar these two are in their wants and the fact that they have not had a proper conversation about the situation. I think it's pretty clear the reason why the fiancé reacted this way is because in his mind, he bought the best possible ring he could to show his love and affection, with the large diamond and high price tag as evidence, and now OP has tried to change the setting of the ring, offer to pay half, and ask to change rings many times. It is clear to us that OP is uncomfortable with the high price tag and finds it an unnecessary expense, but to the fiancé, it must feel like she is unhappy despite the high price tag. Like what he picked out as a show of his love wasn't good enough for her. Not an a-hole. You'll just need to have an honest and clear conversation about this ring, why it makes both of you upset, and how you've hurt each other's feelings. This red flag I believe isn't an actual pattern behavior but him acting out because he's hurt, feeling like you're unhappy with his show of love because you keep finding new ways to ask to change the ring. Guy I dated would do this even over cheap things, almost always in front of other people. In total, I would say he spent less than $500 on me in a year. Mostly on things like expensive Victoria's Secret lingerie that was for him, not me. On my birthday he took me to the mall for a shopping spree. I didn't buy anything. I was starting to see a pattern, but he still told everyone that he took me on a shopping spree and held it over my head like it was a badge of honor for him. We were dressed up fancy for an event, and I ended up having to walk in snow in my high heels. He told his uncle, "God, she's probably going to make me buy her another new pair of shoes now." That son of a bee never bought me any shoes, before or after. Unsurprisingly, his family ended up thinking I was a gold digger. Only after I left did I realize how manipulative and controlling he was. If the story resonates for anyone or OP, please think very hard about your relationship. Yes, totally. I remember a time when my ex gave me a pair of earrings saying they were gold and diamonds, and he told everybody how much he was spending on me as it were designer. Well, the damn earrings went green, and I almost got an infection. Afterwards he gave me a pretty impressive promise ring, and it was Swarovski. He used to call me to ask for borrowed money, and told me a couple of times to pay for his car or remodel his bathroom. Yep, I was that dumb. At the end he just wanted to make me look like a kept woman and guilt me about the price of some stuff that wasn't as expensive or even I paid for them. He did it just to look good in the eyes of others, while he spent all his money and stuff for him, and my money and stuff for his side pieces. Figure out why he's sniping at you before you go returning that ring. I think that's an important and unexamined aspect of this. His thinking might be, I'll spend a bunch of money as a gesture to show her how much I care, and when she responds coldly he feels like his gesture is being rejected. He might not know how to express the value of it to him in any other terms. I got you that ring because I love you and want to show you how invested I am, and I want you to be proud that I'm able to make that commitment to you might not be in his vocabulary. So when he doesn't get a reciprocal reaction, or when he doesn't get excitement or even gratitude, he doesn't know how to react. Offering to pay for half is even worse for him. She is diluting what he tried to do, which can feel emasculating for some men. Different people have different reactions to things of value. She might view this as a manipulative act she needs to neutralize. But they may just be speaking different languages, and he doesn't know how to express that he's hurt, that, in his view, his grand gesture is being underappreciated. This is a talk it out and understand each other situation. Not the a-hole. When my husband proposed, I made a comment about the ring being bigger than I'd expected after I'd said yes and we'd kissed and all of the mushy stuff, and he immediately said we can get a simpler one for every day. The only reason I found out the cost of the ring at all was after we were married and had joint accounts. I took over paying bills and saw a statement for it. He's never once held it over me. What your fiancé is doing sounds like some 50s BS. What could you possibly complain about? Have you seen that rock? If he keeps this up, I'd just calmly take it off and put it back in its box next time he makes one of those comments. If he can't have a calm discussion about this, it doesn't bode well. Communication is key in a relationship, and you shouldn't have to constantly wear a reminder of him dismissing your wishes and feelings. I'd go not an a-hole pending the outcome of being an adult about it and discussing. It's common for relationships to change once one partner feels like the other can't escape. Sometimes this is an engagement. Sometimes it's a wedding. Sometimes it's the conception or birth of a child. Once people feel like their partner can't leave, some of them stop caring about whether their partner wants to leave. In abusive relationships, this means doing horrible things to force certain behaviors the abuser wants to maintain a power dynamic. In shizzy relationships, it just means low-level disrespect, taking for granted, and mistreatment. Because he no longer thinks he has to care about you, he doesn't. That's a fundamental misunderstanding of what a relationship is, or modern divorce laws. You can always leave. No present is expensive enough, and no baby sweet enough. The choice to walk away is always on the table. It might not be a choice you want to make, but it's an option. It just shouldn't take the threat of you leaving to get someone to treat you like a partner. Not the a-hole. A $12,000 ring doesn't have any magical problem-solving capabilities than a crackerjack ring, except I guess an ability to sell it in an emergency. It's ridiculous for him to invalidate any of your complaints or problems because of a ring, because a ring can't solve them. Everyone else is saying what needs to be said, red flags and manipulation, but I have one other thing to add. To me this looks like a sign of a misogynistic outlook on his part. He sounds like a man who believes, at least unconsciously, that women can and want to be bought off. That if he performs the role of provider well enough, he is entitled to a woman who behaves how he wants her to. There are women who are happy to play this role, but you don't sound like you're one of them. The fact that he wouldn't let you go halves on it confirms this theory in my opinion. Not the a-hole, and agree with others that this is a serious relationship red flag. Let's review. 1. Spends $12,000 ring, despite your stated objection. 2. Guilts you over this purchase, insisting that you should feel grateful for the thing that you did not ask for and specifically did not want. 3. Refuses to let you rid yourself of that guilt by relieving him of the burden that he is claiming to have endured for you, being out $12,000 in any way, be it switching to a cheaper ring, partially reimbursing him for the ring, or returning the ring. My initial gut reaction was, that you should give him an ultimatum of, you can return the ring to the store, or we can break off the engagement, but either way I'm giving you this ring back right now. But the more I think about it, the more I think that ring, return or not, you should really do some soul searching about what this incident means about the person you're engaged to, and your future with this person. I had a person like this in my life as a small business partner. He put up a sizable investment when we were starting the company and would not let us reimburse him. He kept assuring us that it was no big deal and he was happy to do it. But then, like clockwork, every disagreement we had, he would climb up on his cross and talk about the sizable investment he made that he had never been reimbursed for. He wouldn't let us reimburse him. He just wanted to be able to hang it over our heads and make us feel guilty about it to win fights. Things never got better with that guy. That incident was entirely indicative of his character in all things. I wish I had listened to my gut and said, F this guy, I'm out of here, early. It would have saved me some frustration and ugliness later. Not the a-hole I'm possibly projecting, because this sort of behavior reminds me of an ex, but this seems incredibly manipulative. My ex once bought me some type of jewelry, insisted I wear it at a social event, and got genuinely angry at me because I didn't show off to my friends about my jewelry, and that my BF must love me so much etc etc. He was very much focused on how he was perceived by others, and took great offense if I wasn't falling over myself to talk about how great he was to others, posting to social media etc. It took me years after the breakup to acknowledge that he was both verbally and physically abusive during our relationship, and this manipulation was all part of that behavior. It could be worth thinking about whether this is a pattern of behavior, or is it a particular insecurity? Maybe a pride thing that you could reassure him about and figure out together? Hope things work out for you. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. See you all later.